think it just looks so pretty together. But there are 3 options. One of them has already sold out, so now we're down to 3 different options you can choose from with these. We have the green quartz that I'm wearing, we have the denim lapis, and then we have the red coral. There are 2 sizes. We have small, medium, and medium large. And what is so cool about these is you took the one thing we complain about with bangles is that it's hard to get over your hand, and you solved that issue for us because these all have a hinge. But even the hinge, I told you every single inch has some kind of cool design to it. They have this really pretty decorative floral stamp work on them, and that's all beautiful silver as well. So your choice. You get this home, not for $200, that was our original price. Our appreciation price point, $119.98. And you see it just opens up just like that, and then you can snap it on, you hear that click.
And then it's got
nice and secure.
Okay, then it's got 2 sterling silver keepers.
And then you're gonna push that down.
Finding that you're seeing there, those are custom made by us. You cannot buy those. We actually made those. We invented that, we created that just for this project.
Wow, really?
So, and that's a cool thing, kind of where we can do things that a lot of people they really don't have the ability to be able to do that. So we're able to actually solve an issue or a problem on when you're making something. So let's just look at this project right here. I designed this. I drew it up on paper. That's how it all started.
Very cool.
And so I drew it all up on paper. And then I took it in to my lapidarist, and they're kind of showing the process. This is the animated process. So you slab it, you take it, the 2 pieces, you put that together, and then that's all snapped together.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing with this. When you look at your wrist, right, your wrist is not round, right? Mm-hmm. What's the biggest issue with bangles that you always have with bangles? I've been making bangles since 1974. That's how long I've been making bangle bracelets. And the big thing with bangles, you have to make them round, but you have to make them big enough to go over the hand,
right,
so that they can go on your wrist.
But then they can fall off the hand.
Well, when they get on your wrist, the problem is because you made them so big to go over the hand that they just bang around. I think that that's where the name bangle came from.
Yeah, because they're banging around.
I'm not sure, but yeah, because you think they bang around on your wrist.
You're right.
So how do you get that bangle look? But how do you get that look and yet don't solve that problem? The first thing I looked at, you look at your wrist. Your wrist is not round. Your wrist is oval. So you start there, right? You don't need anything round. You just need something that's oval. Okay, now you got to solve the problem of how are you going to get that over your hand? So we looked at this and we thought, okay, the best way to do it is we're going to make some kind of finding where we can open it and hinge it, put it over, and then snap it on. So it's still a bangle bracelet, but you don't have to have this huge round hoop. Right. And that's what we did. But there's nothing on the market. Trust me, I looked.
You're like, I did my research.
Yeah, we looked high and low. We even called findings dealers. We called finding manufacturers. We called everybody to try to figure out if anybody had anything like this, and they didn't, so we created it. And we figured this out, and it's a really nice clasp. And when
it's going to stay.
When it snaps together, it snaps together.
It's going to stay secure. Ooh, I like that. See, these are made for stacking, and also something beautiful about the shape that you've done here is they do lay beautifully next to each other. They don't get twisted up, they don't slide up and down. They're gonna stay put and lay beautifully next to each other. That combination of the denim lapis with the green.
That's a great combo.
That's
I didn't even think about
pretty.
That. You know, the cool thing with these is you can stack them all up, but even if you get 2 or 3 in the same color, really, I mean, actually, it's almost buy one, get one free, for what the original price was. So even at the original cost on these, I got to tell you, they were a bargain. And also, this looks simple. This was a very, very, very difficult project. I mean, it took a lot of time, effort. And I think if we would have known exactly what we were getting ourselves in for. This is one of those projects, like my shop manager, I was talking to him about, I said, well, now we've got these findings, I'm thinking about doing another, and he says, I'll never talk to you ever
please
again.
don't.
No, I basically says, I'll never speak to you again. And I said, why? Why would you say something? It blew out. People loved it.
Yeah.
And he goes, let me take you around. So he's taking him around the lapidary shop. The great thing with phones, okay, I can be you know, 3,000 miles away.
Yeah.
So he's got his phone, he's going through the shop, the cutting shop that day, and he goes, and he's showing me, and like, if you can imagine this, like a lot of those like big piles of one side or the other of that bracelet just have. And I'm saying, why do we have those left over? He said, if you look at them, when they came out, when they were cutting them, because they cut them by hand, they're either a little too thin or a little too thick.
They have to be perfect.
And if they're not perfect, they will not line up. Do you see how they have to be absolutely 100% perfect? And these aren't machine done. I mean, they cut them by hand. So I mean, they're using saws, of course, but they're being guided by hand. It's not a robot, right? And then they take them and then they hand polish them. That's another thing with these materials. It's all polished by hand. When you're polishing something, you're removing material. So it was very, very difficult.
And then that floral design too.
They came out, well, that's all part.
It's so pretty.
The floral design, all that finding was not only designed by us, right? We figured out how to make it work. We actually designed it from scratch. And then we created them from scratch. They're all made in our shop. Every single one of those is made by hand in our shop.
Look at that.
It's not a commercial product.
Well, I will say the coral, this red coral, is our most popular. You guys are loving that one.
That's Indonesian red coral.
It's so pretty. It's like fiery. And I do love this combo. You should stack them up like this. If you're using flex payments, they're $24 a piece. And again, we have two sizes, small, medium, and medium large. I really do love that green quartz. I think that's so pretty. And then we have the denim lapis as well. We've got another mystery deal for you. Are you ready?